talk to you about Brent. It's like, that's actually so much talking when you think about it. This cake is good, but working with your hands is kind of something that is ingrained in us as people. We've been doing it for so long. Like when I think about my grandmother would be making all of the children's clothes and be making everything for their family out of necessity. And now it's at a point where we do it more out of enjoyment. But I think it is something that is really good for us as people. When you're doing these kind of repetitive small movements, it does become like a meditation of sorts, because you're just doing the same thing over and over. But a lot of the times you're learning because you're making these mistakes. Like you could miss a stitch and then it turns out differently than you thought. And then either you fix it or you roll with the mistake and you're like, okay, this is a new type of sock or a new type of sweater. And I think that's the same for life. So there is actually a lot of lessons to be learned in it. And I think I've realized lately that whenever I'm creating or doing anything like this, it's mostly for other people. Doing this is more of like a creativity of, I guess, caring. Because when I'm doing it, I just want them to know like how much I care about them. And I guess the effort that I put in is translated. And it's almost like an energy exchange, because all the energy I'm putting into this, and then they're seeing it, and they're knowing how I feel. And I think it's important to do things with your hands, even if it's just, you know, doing this or cooking. Of course, in this generation, we're a bit disconnected from what we're doing. But I think people, the more people who are realizing this, are realizing that there's a lot more joy in doing it yourself, and there's a lot more satisfaction when you're the one who has created it. And then you end up not needing as many things, because it's like, this has so much meaning that you don't need all these other things that have no meaning. I think I'm done.